Good morning, USA, and welcome to another episode of the Bernie or Bust Show. Unshaved, unbathed, unedited, and unscripted. So here we are, the morning after the fourth debates, and we have some breaking news. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is going to endorse Bernie Sanders in the 2020 Democratic presidential primary. She's coming in early enough. I was worried. But here she is. This USA Today article says she plans to endorse Senator Bernie Sanders and appear with him at an event this weekend. A person with knowledge of the plans confirmed the endorsement. The Washington Post had first reported the planned endorsement. So I'm going to talk about the Washington Post in a minute, but it's interesting. A couple of really interesting things, at least in my mind, about the Washington Post today. From yesterday. Nina Turner is excited. She's talking about the new energy this will bring in. Later in the evening, Representative Ilhan Omar, another member of the squad, announced her endorsement of Sanders. Omar cited Sanders' leadership of a working class movement to defeat Donald Trump. That is why I want to commend Omar. I want to talk about that. One of Bernie's campaign leaders, I'm going to talk about how Omar is right on with what she's saying here. This is the issue. This is the central issue that you won't hear on the WAPO. Maybe. I'm kind of wondering about WAPO. So I want to hammer that home. The working class movement. That's what we need to focus on. All right. Ocasio-Cortez's district includes part of Queens. They're talking about this weekend. Tax the rich. Okay, so AOC's got that part right. And when we are in the White House, that is exactly what we will do. So they're working together again. No, not so coy now. The squad is not being so coy. I'm going to change my Facebook background picture. I'm going to congratulate the squad, at least those of the squad who have chosen to endorse Bernie. I have a feeling all four of them will be in by the end of the week. So that's good news. I'm going to start with that. Now let's go to how the debates went. And I've been digesting all of the commentary. I've been digesting the articles. And again, I have to say WAPO is surprising me a little bit. But as I think about it, I don't want to reveal that yet. Here's probably the best summary of how the debates went right here in just a few seconds.
Take that. I'm just put it out there. No winners, no losers, a net neutral for everybody. I don't think that changes anything. No, I don't think that anybody on the bottom tier really broke through tonight. I don't think that anybody who was a top tier candidate tanked. I think that everybody essentially maintained. And frankly, it's getting exhausting. I'm at a place where I feel like it's time to start winnowing this thing down. Yeah. You take December out of the equation because people are paying attention to the holidays as they should be. January is a sprint towards Iowa. We're halfway through October, so we've got about a month left. And I think
November's Thanksgiving, too.
November's Thanksgiving, right. And I think that folks need to, the marginal candidates, hey, thank you. You literally and figuratively contributed to the conversation, to the debate. It's time to move on, and let's focus on the people who have a real shot to move forward.
You've had enough of Tom Steyer already.
You know what?
Only just arrived.
Tom Steyer.
That was good. They were talking about the billionaire who bought his way onto the stage, and they talked about Mayor Pete, being a centrist, just taking all traditional talking points and being very annoying. Or other people thought he crushed it. Other people thought Amy Klobuchar crushed it. But what we've got is, clearly, we've got centrists versus leftists. And there's only one leftist, Bernie Sanders, and then Elizabeth is the stealthy centrist, and then everyone else should that's the centrist positions aren't going to win. They aren't going anywhere, and we should just figure that out now. There was a lot of sentiment. Kyle Klinsky was one who said the people who aren't going to get anywhere should just drop out now. So that was that. I'd say the professional commentators are tired of talking about them. They said a few nice things about Andrew Yang, and so if you want to call him a leftist, I don't. I think he's an extreme rightist hiding as a leftist, but I'm not going to waste time on Andrew yet. That's like a maybe foreshadowing for what's coming on the Bernie or Bust show. But for right now, he seemed to have a pretty good night. And so let's go on. Let's talk about the Washington Post here. Winners and losers. Now, you'd expect the Washington Post maybe to prop up Biden a little bit, maybe to give him a little bit of encouragement. But no, it's clear that the Washington Post has swung completely behind Elizabeth, whether they say everything positive about her. The way the debates were run, it was clear they were setting up Elizabeth to be the winner. Washington Post says, winner, Elizabeth Warren, the front runner. So that's not subtle. You can see where the Washington Post came down on this issue. And I predicted it months ago. I predicted it in the middle of the summer that they would swing behind Elizabeth and ditch Biden. Anderson Cooper was asking Biden hardball questions about his son in the Ukraine. So Anderson Cooper is part of the talent agency cabal I've mentioned before, and he's attacking Biden, who also is represented by his same talent agency. What does that tell you? It tells you that the Clinton machine, the money behind the throne, the puppet string pullers have given up on Biden. So he may tank slowly, gradually. That's what everyone was guessing on the Hill, but he's going down. They set this whole debate up for Elizabeth Warren to win, but they did say that Bernie, it's like killing him with faint praise. The first question they asked him was, well, do you think you're going to be okay after your heart attack? And, you know, they don't want to be totally against Bernie. They don't want to come out. They did. Washington Post did. Now they're playing softball, but they're still killing him with faint praise. But he didn't lose anything last night. He gained. He was, according to the leftist commentators, especially on the Hill and Kyle Kulinski, they say that Bernie was the winner last night. Not just because he didn't lose, but that he had moments that really showed him well. Here is the campaign. I can't remember his name, but they'll tell you his name here. He is a folksy Appalachian kind of a person. He understands what Ilhan Omar was saying about the working class people. And so just listen to some folksy commentary on why Bernie is the only candidate that can really compete with Donald Trump.
Question was whether the Democratic Party had the guts to take on these wealthy interests that are maintaining the status quo on healthcare. But what did you think? What really stood out to you about his performance?
What you're saying there it's really important, not what I think, but the words that you were describing. Let's think if you're a grandmother in New Hampshire, you're sitting on your couch, you probably got some CBD salve out and you're rubbing it on your elbow like my grandmother would do. Or if you're that old boy in Iowa, who knows deer season is going to start in about 4 weeks. I know that because November was an exciting time for us. No matter which one of those voters you are, what he was talking about resonates with them. That's what the media people don't get. That's what the pollsters don't get, is that he's talking right to this corruption in our government of average folks not having a voice, which cuts to the heart. Crystal, you know this because you've been in Appalachia, you've been in these campaigns. Like, that's what people want to hear. Donald Trump, to his credit, snookered them into believing he was going to fix that, but he didn't. And so they're looking for somebody, even who they may not agree with 100%, who is trustworthy. And that's what they get with Bernie, and that's what they saw tonight. Tonight, they just want to make sure he could stand there and that he was full of as much fire as he ever is, and he is.
I thought it was pretty remarkable, Chuck. We were talking about this earlier, which is that he was willing to go out there and take the political hit. He knows Republicans will run end on this, saying, yeah, middle-class taxes will go up, but overall costs are going to go down. Now, what we're obvious...
Middle-class taxes are going to go up. They asked Elizabeth Warren 4 times, are the taxes going to go up? 4 times she didn't answer. Bernie just came right out and said, yeah, middle-class taxes are going to go up, but your overall costs are going to go down. He's the only one that he wrote the damn bill, so he knows what it says. And Elizabeth is a coward, and she's deceitful, and she's a fraud. We've talked about it before with her daughter and everything. I'm not going to go into that now, but I just get so upset when they're trying to lob softball pitches to Elizabeth so she can divide the true left. Now let's look at, Lauren Martinchek. I follow her on Medium. I think that this article is worthy of a read if you get a chance. Bernie Sanders, the comeback kid. I'll link to it in the information box. I wrote this one yesterday. Salient points that all Democrats must face between now and February. The Bernie or Bust movement acknowledges the true pain and misery that neoliberalism has caused to working class people. I think what I'm going to do here, I've got some points that probably need a few minutes to talk about. So I think I'll come to this tomorrow. So I hope you tune in tomorrow. When you're talking to your Vote Blue folks, this is good ammo. And I want to end with my son, Seth. He's a music teacher in the Erie, Pennsylvania area, and he was featured by his students. So this just a few seconds of this clip, like 10 or 12 seconds, and then I'll end with that.
Mr. Howell leads the school chorus and spends his time after school to help run the play and marching band.
That's where Seth teaches. So a shout out to Seth. I hope you're all having a good day, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Keep on burning.